If you're a fan of going to the movies, then you undoubtedly know that IMAX pulls out all the stops when it comes to marketing their format, especially in the spring and summer. Savvy moviegoers and viewers will take note of marketing phrases such as filmed for IMAX or shot with IMAX film cameras. These are important distinctions because they give viewers a little insight into how a movie was made and how best to enjoy it. However, with constant changes in marketing lingo, what are consumers getting behind the lens with IMAX today? The name IMAX has become synonymous with big screens and powerful sound systems. However, over the decades, IMAX Corporation silently and slowly began to shrink its screens and seating areas while still charging premium prices. The confusion of small screens with the IMAX name alienated viewers, as did quotes like this from a former IMAX spokesperson in 2009. There is no standard. The 72-foot thing has gotten out there, but even in the older museums and science centers, those screens vary. It's not about a particular width and height on the screen, it's about the geometry. Some people online are very stuck on 72 feet wide. It was never the standard. The confusion with IMAX continues to this day for consumers who might get confused when seeing headlines or phrases like these. If a movie was filmed with regular cameras and being shown on a screen the same size as a regular RPX or Cinemark XD screen, then why bother paying the IMAX price for admission? In September 2020, IMAX Corporation announced the Filmed in IMAX program in a press release. A bit of a misleading title, as the cameras mentioned in the press release were all digital. IMAX speaks about its partnerships with Arri, Panavision, Red, and Sony to certify some of their cameras for IMAX's taller aspect ratios. A link to the press release and another video on how cinema aspect ratios work are in the description below. While these certified by IMAX digital cameras can shoot in a taller aspect ratio than a typical cinema camera, the resolution isn't quite as high as IMAX film cameras. The 65mm IMAX film cells can capture imagery at 18K, as confirmed by an IMAX spokesperson to Movie University in a 2020 interview. Meanwhile, the certified digital IMAX cameras can only capture imagery averaging around 7K. This is important because of the large screens that IMAX has for its 70mm playback auditoriums. That expanded image requires greater resolution. Additionally, IMAX film is beloved by movie directors such as Christopher Nolan, J.J. Abrams, and others because of the unquantifiable depth, texture, and color provided by film that cannot quite be matched by digital cameras just yet. Some critics can be quick to point out that the resolution of the cameras doesn't matter, as most movie theater projectors and televisions can only show imagery at 4K, with most movies having special effects rendered at 2K. So why bother with such high resolutions? This argument can quickly be put to rest, as movies shot on film or at very high resolutions stand to be future-proofed for years to come because of the advances in video playback technology and declining costs to remaster older titles. Resolution aside, the real selling point for IMAX with the Filmed in IMAX program is the aspect ratio. It is speculated that IMAX may have originally intended to phase out its film cameras, such as the IMAX 9802 model, because of the difficulty manufacturing and maintaining them, the expense on production for purchasing large film stock, and the difficulty wielding such large cameras in a day and age of digital ones. Additionally, the company has attempted to dramatically downscale the amount of theaters that could play back IMAX film. This unexpectedly played havoc for the company when Christopher Nolan's movies began to gain immense popularity in the early 2010s. Nolan's large usage of the film format saw a boom in a demand for the large legacy IMAX format. Keep in mind, during this time, many consumers were unaware of the shrinking IMAX screen, and most didn't know the difference between IMAX film or digital projection formats. However, moviegoers are much more tech-savvy than some may believe, and they know quality when they see it. When movie studios shoot big blockbusters with practical effects and set pieces, or use unique cameras and cinematography methods, audiences respond. In a Movie University poll taken summer 2022, 60% of you said knowing a movie was shot with IMAX film cameras played an impact on whether you'd pay to see a movie in the IMAX format or not. And speaking of you guys, I know many of you are like me, and you need to pick up in the morning, or need a cup of joe in the early evenings to stay up late and watch movies and TV shows. I recently tried out a new coffee brand called Coffee Brand Coffee, and I'm here to tell you that it's legitimately delicious coffee. While the name is generic, the product is anything but. Follow the link in the description below to get 10% off your first order. For years, movies would be advertised and shown in IMAX theaters for the simple sake of seeing a movie on a larger screen or hearing it on a higher fidelity sound system. The Filmed in IMAX program allows IMAX to maintain a distinct competitive edge to sell tickets, offering more real estate to be displayed if a movie has used IMAX certified cameras. This edge allows IMAX to still have its smaller screens, but offer more viewable footage, showing up to 26% more footage on a screen, the company says. If one was to see a movie shot with certified IMAX cameras in Dolby Cinema, they would be missing around a quarter of the image due to the reduced projectable area if a movie was shot with IMAX digital cameras, and you would lose close to half of the image if a movie was shot with IMAX film cameras. However, take heart knowing for now that most movies are not shot in an IMAX aspect ratio, so most movies are not worth paying to see in an IMAX theater. A 2022 press release by IMAX Corporation stated the company will begin rolling out new, updated film cameras. A big move like this shows the company may be recommitting itself on some level to the film format and gives movie lovers hope for the continuation and expansion of the format down the road, both in terms of new content and more theaters with film projectors. Leave a comment on your thoughts about IMAX in the comment section below.